I said I'd do another video on Christmas lights. I wasn't lying. Look at these. Look at that. And we got Santa in this mess somewhere. Okay, so I think these are from the 1950s. They're series string. And if I take a look at the spare bulbs that it came with that I had to use very liberally, I believe those were all burnt out. They are series lights. So each one of these bulbs has a lower voltage that's divided together. Or when you add them all together, you get 110, 120, 115, whatever RMS volts, whatever you want to say is the line voltage. Similar to those mini lights, I guess they're called fairy lights in the States. I think that's a brand name. Or those LEDs I looked at earlier. 25 cents for, is this 4 of them? 4. That would have been a lot of money back then. Shit ain't cheap. Guaranteed to light, series type. One light out, string goes out. Made in Taiwan. Interesting. When did things start getting made overseas? I guess in the 50s. I don't think these would be later than the 50s. Newest would be maybe early 60s. Anyway, I used these last year. I think I got this string working. This I'd have to meter out to see what's wrong. But when I went to go unplug them, where's the plug? Here it is. One of the prongs decided to leave itself in my outlet. Luckily, this one was in the neutral side. So, I have this random power cord that I'm just going to temporarily hook up to this so we can get these working. And then maybe try some other fancy bulbs too. Alright, skip to the work already being done. I've removed this sketchy, dangerous plug and done some other sketchy things. So I've just moretted this suicide cord onto the end here. Just a random cord. I took off some old scrap electronics. And let's power these on and see what they do. Oh, that's nice. Now the problem with this camera is it's not really gonna bring in the beauty of this. This is a deep, beautiful red. This is almost an orange. These are also a wonderful red. These blues are okay, and this green is a lot more green in real life. It looks kind of aquamarine. Alright, that's about as close as I could get it to what I'm seeing. The smell these are giving off, if you've ever powered on an old tube radio and you get that burning antique radio dust, oh, this is like that times 10. These get stupid hot. I swear to you, these get hotter than those C9 bulbs. Like, fuck, that hurts. I can't touch these. Ow. What? Okay, I'm gonna shut these off. That's crazy. Like, these get dangerously hot. So there's 8 of them. So that would give, what, 15 volts each? 120 volts, 15 volts a pop? I mean, maybe, it looks like there's more bulbs on here. I wonder if this is a series parallel configuration, or if this was meant for different bulbs? I don't know. That's weird. These old, it's almost like a Bakelite. Is that Bakelite or plastic? It looks like Bakelite. Sounds like Bakelite. Let's try some of these weird lights. Alright, thought this was a little red heavy, so I took one of the reds, replaced it with, is this supposed to be a snowman or a puppy? Puppy snowman? And I replaced the other one with a very traditional Santa. Explode? There. Nope, they work. if I can adjust this on here to show them. Not well. Mr. Puppy. I do like the light that these give off. They give off that antique glow. And my grandpa had a set like this. That's why I think these are from the 50s. My dad was like, kind of grew up as a child in the 50s and the early 60s and blah, blah, blah. So I think that's when my grandpa would have bought this type of string, and he had all sorts of antique Christmas lights that he let me play with as a kid. And I remember one of these that every time he'd bring it out, he'd have to go and try each bulb to figure out which one was dead, because if I, whew, that's hot. If I unscrew one, they all go out. My God, that's hot. Let me get my thermometer out. Let's see what temperature these are. Alright, I know these aren't really good for reflective surfaces, but I think the paint might help us out a little bit here. Maybe not, that's very cold. That's clearly not right. '50's warm, but my hand was feeling way warmer than that. 68 degrees Celsius? Oh boy. Ha, nice. For my American friends, 156 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't even think these are fully warmed up yet. Trying to find the sweet spot. 75. Yeah, that's concerningly warm. Like I said, if I kept my hand on that, I would burn my fingers. And honestly, this smells like a old tube radio firing up for the first time and one of the tubes red plating. I wonder about this set. I don't know if I have enough working bulbs to get this set working. This set I've never actually tried. And it might be newer because it has one of these stackable plugs. Still not polarized. But I'm going to go through and check each one of these bulbs. And if I have enough working ones, then let's get this set working. And again, it looks like it's all series, but there's way more lights on here, so maybe it's a series parallel. Well, no, it can't be though. There's only 2 wires. So does that mean that this one, for safety, runs them at a lower voltage than this one? Well, I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with this bigger string, and look at this. In typical Canadian fashion, this has been bodged together for whatever reason, and with hockey tape. That's the Canadian part. This is freaking like, this isn't electrical tape. This is that like hockey tape. And yeah, it's just sort of twisted together. No mechanical device holding this, no clip, no wire nut, no solder. Put these on your tree, yeah. I'm sure it won't burn down. Alright, before I go and badmouth the design of these, let me turn on some more light here. Before I go and badmouth the design of these lights, I just want to correct my statement before. Either multiple or one light bulb has been removed. So these 8 lights were probably more. Might research to see how many lights are normally in a series string. This has 21. This has 8. I suspect it's somewhere in the middle. I don't think it's 8. These get stupid hot. I think it's closer to 20, maybe 25. That'd be a big string to deal with, though. I remember as a kid, there weren't that many in a series string when I was playing with these guys. This is just, whoever had these, like, come on, man. Again, hockey tape. is it's spliced together with hockey tape. Alright, this is the second joint I've found, and you know, maybe I was a little too hard on whoever did these. Mechanically, they did do the... Pretend I have two hands and you handshake the wires together so you get a nice mechanical join when you're twisting them together, so when you can't pull them apart easily. That's good, but really you want to flow some solder, or at least use electrical tape and not hockey tape. So put those back, electrical tape them, they're good. I'm going to do the same thing here. And I did some quick Googling, and it looks like these series string sets were typically 8 lights. 7 or 8 lights seems to be pretty common for the old strings, but the series strings one seemed to be 8. 21 is weird. Maybe 25 if they did a weird series parallel thing. But I don't understand how 21 could light. And I've checked all the bulbs on this and it doesn't work. So either one of these sockets has a bad connection, or the previous homeowner had like rigged these in to be like 240 or some stupid shit. Probably not, but I don't know. I don't understand how these can use the exact same bulbs as the 8 string, and there's only 2 wires, so these all have to be in series. There's no third wire. If you look at old mini lights, like a string of 50 mini lights, or fairy lights for those who call it that, they would often have 3 wires. And what that third wire for is you have your, let's just say you have hot running through the lights and you have neutral running all the way to the end to complete the series circuit. So you have hot that goes into one light, comes out, so that's one wire. You have another wire that just runs all the way along as your neutral. You have your third wire. Your third wire is a second hot. And the idea behind that is that then that will provide hot power to the next set of lights. So you'll have series 25 lights for mini lights, then you'll have a little join and a splice, and you'll have the second set of 25 lights using that second hot. That way those are in parallel with the first set. And usually that second hot will then continue on, or yeah, I think it's the second hot, and go all the way to the end, and that's when you plug another string of lights into the end of those Christmas lights. If you only have 2 wires in a set of series Christmas lights, you're not going to have an outlet on the other end, because you just can't. Otherwise, that outlet would be in series with this. That's the only way it would work. So these only having 2 wires means that all of these are in series, which makes no sense. Yeah, I don't understand how these ever worked. When I unravel them, I discover that there are 7 lights, splice, 7 lights, there's a splice in here, splice, 7 lights, 21 lights. So some fucking handyman, probably back, I don't know, in the 60s or 70s, don't get me started on the stuff that happened in the 70s. You look at any old houses that, you know, haven't been sold in like 40 years, same owner for the last 4 decades, and you look in the basement and it's got like that wood paneling finished in the 70s for your rumpus room or whatever, and oh, the electrical's always so bad. It's always done by someone who knows the basic idea that, you know, just hook 2 wires up and you'll get a thing. Why would you have to? It's just my basement. I don't need to follow the electrical code. It's just my basement, even though it's like connected to your house. And then you get these handymen, give you a handy fur, and they go and just do this stuff. And I do not understand how this is supposed to work. I don't understand how putting 21 of these lights in series is going to work. I bet you if I run this through the kilowatt, it will be drawing current. Oh, so I go to plug them into the kilowatt, you know, to prove a point. Let's shut this light off and be like, look, they're not lighting up, but there's still wattage being consumed. And then they light up. So clearly one of those splices was bad, because now they work. I'm just gonna move them around, try not to electrocute myself. No, they seem on rather solid. They're very dim. I mean, they're so instead of 15 volts, they're getting 5 volts a piece, give or take. Shut the overhead light off. Camera's making up for it. Yeah, these are on the opposite side of what that 8-string is. I mean, they look kind of cool. They don't look all that bad, but they're very dim. The upside is they're not getting that warm, so they probably won't burn you alive. It's... I don't know. Anyone who finds old lights like this, please, please, please don't just use them. These are a neat novelty. Like, these are so cool as a just like antique Christmas light novelty, but don't string them up in your home sight unseen. I mean, these 2 strings alone that I got have both been modified poorly. So, yeah. These lights take somewhere between 5 and 15 volts. Either way, though, very cool. And I appear to have gotten lucky in that I have enough working bulbs to get both strings working. So let me grab the other one. Oh, and for those interested, this string is consuming 21 watts. In this corner, 21 bulbs on a series string light. And the Challenger, 8 bulbs. Oh, let me see if I can adjust this to get a better... Wow. That's intense. Yeah. Somebody actually had Christmas lights like this set up. This was a thing that they were doing. I don't want to run these too much because I don't want to burn out these antique bulbs. That glow is... Quiet you. That glow that this gives off is actually really growing on me. It's very pleasant. It's like just chill, right? I normally complain about LED lights being a little too muted, a little subdued. They don't have that shine, that shimmer, that bright little shimmer in your eye. They're just like a flat light that goes, here I am. And these are a perfect example of a muted light, but they still have that warmth to them. Some of these blues, the way they're painted, you can't even see that they're on except for the little scratches in the paint. Oh, wow, that's actually still getting hot. Wow. I mean, warm to the touch, warmer than a mini light. Huh. And because I need to know the answer... Ha! The 8 bulbs are consuming 35 watts. It's amazing what a little more voltage over the filament will do. I hope you enjoyed this quick little look at these old antique Christmas lights. The second string I looked at, the one that had 21 spliced on there, is made by Noma. Noma's a big brand. Anyone who's bought Christmas lights at Canadian Tire, I don't know if they're Canadian Tire's house brand or they're just a Canadian brand of Christmas lights and possibly other lights. I don't know. But yeah, here's the little label. Paper label still on it. At one point that was CSA approved. At one point. And these guys seem older and don't even have that, so yeah. Very cool. I will not be putting these on my tree this year. I have an addendum to make. I could have just looked at the base of the bulb. 15 volt. Japan. So these were the later Japanese-made milk glass. I've been reading about these. After recording the video, I've actually been reading about them. These are the later-made milk glass light bulbs. But they're labeled as 15 volts. So this one's correct. They're supposed to run that bright and that hot. I'm kind of better off somewhere in this range here. Whoever did this, maybe I was a little harsh on their decisions. Maybe they did this for safety. Who knows?